Go ahead and record. All right. So, good morning, Monday. Welcome. Super happy to see you guys here. I'm going to give you all a chance to share in a moment, just of, the things that are going on right now. And I'll give you just a really quick overview of sort of where we're at this week and what things are kind of supporting us with. And usually then it's really nice because everybody's just like, yeah, I'm seeing such shift in a lot of people. They are, even if they don't know it, and even if they're not really doing the work, they're making that choice to kind of really make the most of the days that we have here, really make the most of their lives. And when they decide to do that, they're like just kind of saying no to things that they don't want to do anymore, and they're saying yes to things that they do, and they're making these little changes. And so for just getting out into the world, when I'm talking to people, they're like, I don't know what's going on, I just, what, it's like, no, I'm worth this, like they're feeling these things all of a sudden. And so it's beautiful to know that it happens anyways, even for people that aren't necessarily diving in 8 to 10 hours a day. The magic is you don't have to, right? You just have to really know what you want, and you appreciate it so much when it shows up usually. But it happens with such little effort. So those little things, those, you don't necessarily have to make a huge leap. It's those little consistent things that you sort of stick to every day. And when we do our life mapper, when we do this kind of stuff, we're looking at that every day. We're staying focused in it. What I find is that even though I have this cosmic support kind of showing me, all these things that I'm capable of, there's always that little mind in the background, right? That little that little chatter. And the truth is, that's that egoic mind, right? That's that little subconscious mind that we have to learn kind of how to master. And with all these retrogrades that have come up lately, it's shown us some really major things that we don't want to repeat anymore, some really major things that we are just ready to move on from. So once we've been through that kind of a stage and all this sort of stirring up of stuff, this time is really for allowing us to see that longer end result. Like right now, if you're to think about a year from now, just to actually think about setting goals right now, just, just even just kind of close your eyes for a quick moment and think of a goal that you want to have a year from now in a really attainable way. Like, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It doesn't have to be a mansion in Beverly Hills. It can just literally be a goal. Like, I just choose to be living a healthy lifestyle. I just choose to, I don't know, what is a goal? Be making a bunch of money. We're going to really look today at what that would give us, that sort of end result of how we want to actually just feel if we have a lot of money. Because for most of us, it's not about the money. It's not about just having so much money you don't know what you're going to do with it. That's not really, I don't know, anyways, for me, that's not, it's what it is that these little things in the last few weeks especially have been really showing us what it is that we want. So I've been hearing from a lot of people, like, I couldn't even buy bread today. Like, it had to get to that point where they had to go, I don't ever want to feel like I can't buy bread for my kids. Like, that is traumatizing, right? When you are that short on funds, but you're doing so much, there is something out of alignment. And this is for us to look at, not repeating this anymore. Because I went back with one of my clients and I was like, so has this happened before? And they're like, no, it's never happened. And I was like, has it ever happened before where you were this low and you were like, oh my God, I'm never getting like this again? And they were like, yeah, like it is a repeating pattern. It is a repeating pattern. But the thing is, now all of this stuff has come up for us to really see, like that book we opened again, that spaced integration of that information is like, okay, it's not that these lessons are repeating in our life. It's actually like, okay, this is what we don't want. This is right, lowest and highest point running tandemly, and this is exactly it. We're so focused, right, on what this is that we want. We're working on that money. We're completely focused on that money or that abundance. We're giving that all of our attention, and it's showing us exactly what we don't have. Our all of our focus is going there. That is what's happening because it's going on what we don't have. It's We're saying we can only be happy if we have that. So our superconscious is showing us how we cannot be happy if we don't have that, because it's saying you don't have it. Like, that's what it's trying to show us. It's showing us every way we don't have it in a really, like, it's so that this is the secret, right? Like, where that energy is going. Are we focused on what it is that we really want? I want to be able to let my kids, like, I want to be able to register them right now for Ringette because I know that money's in the bank. I want to, when I get that email, have that feeling of, yes, I can just click right now. I don't have to go load a card. I don't have to, rob Peter to pay Paul. I don't have to do anything. I can just click on the link and pay it now with my credit card that has, that is not the feeling that we usually have, right? That is not we usually have, oh my God, I don't have enough. How am I going to do this? My husband's going to be so mad. That's what our that's the program we're running on. And no, it's this little voice, and we think we can hush it, and we think we can just kind of change it, right? And this is it. That's that egoic mind, that little part of you going, don't listen to this. You don't want to know this information, right? So we have all these abundance meditations. We do have basically what we want. We always kind of end up getting what we want. And I always wanted to, not have more than anyone else, and I always wanted to, but I'm still running on those little programs. And so it's not about, I my true choice was to shush the mind lately, like, just to shush it. And what happened is I'm starting to just have all these things popping in my field that are showing me ways to shush it. I'm designing an emotional mastery program with the girls, in Creator Sphere, and going into these emotions and what it really shows, but just noticing the vibration of when you're in that emotion and what it literally vibrates and magnifies and brings to you is exactly where you're at. So it's simply just raising that vibration. When that opportunity to come on that trip, someone wants you to go on a trip, that's what we want. We want that. We don't want to, be hustling. We don't want to be selling. We that's what we want. And so letting go of that end result, being in the Wizard's Gate, not wanting all of that, it literally means shutting off the brain. When we meditate, right? When we quiet our mind, when we take that breath and get in our heart space, we can't be operating in that fear mode. It doesn't work that way. We're collapsing that. We're raising, right? So all of these things to shush that mind are literally coming up. And when we really look at beliefs, there's limiting beliefs, but there's the beliefs that we really truly have, right? Like, even about relationships, about this was the time, this is the time right now to really examine that information that's coming up to us. What are our real beliefs? Because think about it. Beliefs are truly feelings that we have over and over again, right? Like, that there's something that has been entrained. It's not just like, you have to see it to believe it, but sometimes you see it a few times. And so underneath, even if you've only seen it once, it does start to kind of create this feeling. And if that feeling happens again, it sort of turns into that belief. And what are our beliefs even about, about people that do have it all, the people that are out there lately? It's been triggering just because being in these, I'm, in the marketing world now, doing these things, kind of stepping out of my comfort zone. And I've realized it's funny because every morning I wake up to 10 or 15 messages from coaches who are coaching coaches, because coaches realize value in coaches and we have no problem paying for them. It's just that we keep paying for them and maybe not getting those results that we want. So we want to make sure that we're actually going to do it, because it's it's something that is of huge value when you find the right person that can kind of help keep you in your alignment, right? But there's so many sleazy ways you kind of have to go about it. Like all of the messages, there are three formats because there's three scripts going around because I've been sent them all. So, I'm technically supposed to be doing this with people and I don't, because I open these messages every morning and I'm like, here's another one, because they're like, hey, Jackie, just checked out your profile. We have so much in common. I love your positive energy. What is it that you do? And I'm like, here's another one, right? And I was like, listen, like the template, you're actually believable. Can't do it. Don't want to coach. Thanks for coming out. Whereas, like, a month ago, I was like, oh, hi, Johan from India, who says you're from Denmark, who is actually saying his page says New Jersey. Like, I spent half an hour on the phone with it. Why? Like, it was just ridiculous, right? Where we can get drawn off in rabbit trails. But what it taught me is exactly what I would want to do and not want to do, because as soon as I would open one, it would give me a feeling like yes or no. Whereas before it was like I was just talking to everybody. We have to be discerning with where our energy is going and keep it in alignment, right? Not just kind of, because we can go on distractions and rabbit holes all we want. I could get caught up in the COVID anti-vax stuff for hours a day, but I literally, I can't do it. I'm going somewhere else. And that is what keeps me in alignment. And that's what keeps me showing up every day. Not 100%, but every day it's getting easier. And this weekend, my daughter was even like, you know what, Mom, I really want to start working on, um, being healthier. And I was like, yes, because before it was all, just about only making a shift because something was coming up. Well, we have Ringette coming up. So she wants to but she was the one that wanted to do it instead of me being like, come on, let's go do it. Let's go do it. Forcing, she would practically be in tears because we'd be working out downstairs and I'd be like making her, and she's making absolute little effort, but because she wants to do it now, because she's shifting, because I'm just making these like little changes. She's just watching things happen. We're getting to bed earlier. All these little shifts are happening. And it's not that I'm having to actually look at my goals and go, okay, drink more water. I just, it's all just kind of finally starting to come into alignment. And that's cosmically where we are right now. It's setting us up for this perfect plan. So what do we want this perfect plan to be? Shannon, why don't you share with us? What is, what do you really want? What's a goal? What's something you would just love?
Um, with me, I'm getting close to what my goals are. Like I'm pretty close. Like I'm working on doing my wellness coaching, learning how to do that, picking up more case studies, and people are coming into my field. It's like I'm not even looking for people and they're showing up. The
Right?
people that are meant to be there are showing up. Um,
Why do you want
yeah.
to do that? What would that give you?
Well, for me, I've always liked making a difference. So like I've been an EA for like I don't know, 18 years. And when I can help the kids and they really like to this day, I go out and I could be somewhere and they'll be like, Miss Caesar, and they're all like, like, and some of these kids, I'm like, I don't even remember the kind of impact I made on them, but obviously I made impact on them because they come up to me and they're all like, oh my God, you're like my favorite, blah, 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 blah. Like it's just,
Awesome.
I've had those moments already where I've had people come up to me and hug me and tell me that I made a difference. And so that's basically it. It's me going out and making a difference. And
Love
with
it.
this, there's people that they've tried all this other kind of stuff and they're kind of defeated in a way. And then they come and talk to me and it's like, well, let's find out the root of why you're feeling like this. Why is your body doing this? Like,
Mhm.
and so basically that's what I want to do is I go and the people that have already tried everything, their doctor has basically said like there's nothing else we could do for you. It's like, well, don't take no for an answer. If you don't like what you hear, you go find somewhere else to go see if somebody else can actually help you, right? And
Right.
so really I'm finding that yeah, all the people that are coming to me are the people that their doctor basically has already given up on, right?
Mhm.
And so it's like, nope, I'm not giving up on you. We're going to find out the root, and your body, everybody's body has the capability of regenerating itself.
This is
It's
it,
just a
right?
matter of finding out how to do it.
Hmm.
That's the
Yeah,
thing.
filling that gap. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. And it's
So
true, right? Like doctors will just, they'll say literally for most things, here's an antidepressant, here's a painkiller, but it's not necessarily getting to the root. It's just kind of shushing that
it's helping
symptom.
with the symptoms. So that's basically a lot of times that's what they end up. People will help them with their symptoms, but not actually find out what caused it to begin with.
Hmm.
So like that's what, I'm, and even then I guess I like trying to figure out how I can help people and figure out like, okay, what's going on? And then figuring that out, my mind is like, okay, let's try this and let's do this and let's get, and then really the impact, right? So it's the
Hmm.
impact that it can make on people. Like
Love
that's
it.
the thing is it makes me feel good to make an impact.
Love it. And how,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing. How about Margie? You're next on my hit list. I'm going through the, the way you guys are set up.
Hi.
Would you care to share a goal or a GPS point or anything that hit home for you?
Well, one thing I realized yesterday in the session that I attended was that I don't have any specific goals right now, and I mean I thought about this before. Um, that I basically in my life I've pretty well achieved the goals I set. I never was trying to be a multimillionaire or anything like that, but I, I had a career that was successful. I had marriages that weren't. I had a child, and but she's been married for like 29 years. So now, I thought of this before. I need to set new goals so I can achieve them. And right now, I'm just a kind of really I'm muddled. And I just got back from a month with the guy. Um, and I'm home. I've only been home a few days, and I'm just, it's just been like really crazy, wacky, up and down. And so I need to really recenter and go, okay, what kind of, so I am also turning 73 on next Saturday. And I know that's there for me going, ooh, you're hitting closer to the end of life. So when you set goals, you need to make them something that are going to be really beneficial,
Mhm.
living the life I love. And um, I thought of getting a kitten the other day, which does makes no sense at all because I've always had animals, but
I got a
I
fish.
travel so much. And I went, you're turning 73. Kittens in my world, cats in my world, and dog, they usually live to be about 18. And I'm going, in 10 years, you're going to be 83. In 18 years, you're going to be 91. And
Oh, and they're terrors. They're holy terrors. It's
uh,
it's like whose idea were you? Why did I do this?
I know. And I mean, and I'm going, one of my goals is to travel as much as I can before I can. And so
Yes.
an animal in the mix right now
Yes.
doesn't even make any sense.
It's
So
so good.
anyway, I'm trying to work on grounding and focusing and figure it out.
I
So
love
that's
it.
mine.
I love
I
it.
guess that's
Well,
my goal.
that's exciting for me because you get to sort of recalibrate your GPS a little bit, and when we are sort of focused on someone else and we are kind of in this structure vacation, you come back and all of a sudden it's like, okay, whew, not only that, but you have a lot of stuff going on just with, still with that relationship and where it's at and where he's at and health wise. There's so many things, right? So it's hard to calibrate when you feel like life is sort of taking you instead of you sort of being, in control of where that is. And and so thank you so much for sharing that, Margie, because
Thank you.
I really kind of thought my true choice was to just, if my family was happy, then I was happy. That was really like, it's really hard to kind of know now what makes Margie happy. So what does Margie want? And we get really caught up in the big grandiosity of having to make a goal, like, I want to start a business, or I want to make this, or I want to, we just want to, be, we really just want to be happy. We really just want to live in love and ease and grace, and, let distress just fall away. I mean, stress comes, but it's that distress that and I just, want to be in a good vibration. Just doing that, just choosing that allows all those things to help you to do that pop in. You don't need to know it all what it is. All of a sudden you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is what I always wanted. And you're not even going to remember that you chose that at one point. It's so beautiful to just be able to actually surrender. So that's really awesome. That's a profound share. I love it.
Thank you. And I just want to share one more thing real quick,
Yeah.
because I found out right before I left that he thought he was in remission,
Mm-hmm.
and I went to the doctor with him, the oncologist, and she said, "In your brain is in remission, but the rest of your body, and it's pretty bad, is not. So they're going to restage him." But I mean, I'm going, this man may not live very long, and realistically, so what do I do? I mean, I
Yeah.
can't make my life about him. I have to make my life about living the life I love. And he asked me something about my goals, and I said, living my life I love. And he goes, well, what does that mean? And I went, I don't know what it means.
There we go. That's huge. I'm glad that you shared that, because we're
Thank
going to
you.
dive into that. Yeah, that's going to be fun, because it's true. We do have to really spend a few minutes sometimes actually thinking about that. What is it that we love? And we'll do a little exercise where you just literally write down as many things as you can that you loved over time. Like, for me, it was weird things like acting, singing in a band, doing pottery, all these things that kind of pop up just from seeing a random picture somewhere, or seeing something and you almost forget that you love doing it. So I want you to just kind of jot some things down today that you just simply love doing, because when you're
Thank you.
in that vibration of love and happiness, that's when everything around you will start to magnetize that love and happiness, and it'll be easier to make decisions. It'll be like, you know what, I just want to go live there. I just like, these things will pop into your head, and you can actually explore them for a moment.
Yeah.
So
Thank,
I love it.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And Amanda, did you want to share? Were you able to have something that you wanted to share with us?
Oh, I wanted to say something to Margie about the kitten need. I was thinking that maybe if you approach that with a little bit more curiosity, and that it sounds to me like you're looking for a task to promote nurturing in your life. Because normally when we want something small and and innocent like that, obviously, yeah, they're like a bundle of mess, but it's because we have like a caretaker need. And so I was wondering,
Yes.
did that come up to you like as you returned from being with him and you were feeling kind of helpless and maybe not in structure and kind
Yeah.
of looking for comfort? I guess that was what I felt and I was thinking when you were sharing.
Thank you for saying that. And he has a dog and cat that when I left, I said to them, you're going to miss me because I just spoil them rotten. And I mean, I've always had animals that and
Right.
it is that, attachment. Thank you.
And it can
Yeah.
also be a
Yeah.
really good distraction, because I notice when I am really
Absolutely. Yeah.
going for what I want, or even getting close to knowing what it is I'm going for that I want, I'm like, oh, I need a puppy, or oh, I literally went and got a fish because I'm like, okay, then I'm not gonna get a puppy. Like, it was so funny. And it may be even that that's something that you enjoy. When you may, again, like for some reason I just keep being back there with him a little bit more, making little visits, something like that. It'll fill that void. Don't do it though. Because it is a great
Thank you.
Right. I know. Yeah.
Love
Yeah,
it.
for
Thanks,
sure. Like,
Kate.
it's like, just keep that
Yeah, good
ironclad
in,
focus.
good insight, coach.
Um,
That's awesome. I love it. And now, Miss Master coaching everyone else, how are your goals? How are you doing?
I can't help it. Yeah. No, my goals are definitely every day is like just like the next step in. So I'm feeling very good about that. Last week was really intense on a different level. I don't think I'm finished. But we were talking about a lot of that retrograde stuff, and I know over the weekend we chatted about the Leo conversion this week, but I think what's hitting me is that some of those fundamentals that we did during the Wounded Warrior process was like it cracked the egg, but it didn't like break it open. Like there was just like, it was like tick, tick, tick. And that thing's pretty well hard boiled. So yeah, trying to peel the layers off without destroying the thing. That's kind of where we're at right now. And if somebody were to ask me over the last couple of days, like, what is your resistance level at? Just like generally asking me, I would have been like 15, like, like hard 10,
That means you're
because
onto something big.
yeah, I mean, yeah, because I literally am trying to shake loose some really fundamental agreements. And my ego is like freaking out. I mean, that's the only way I can explain it, is literally like the egoic mind that, that I've been working with, is in firm dislike of all of this success and abundance, because it's uncomfortable and it's not known, right? It's not used to it. And so it keeps pushing me into suffering habits and comforts that are unhealthy. And, like binge watching something, or, eating the wrong foods, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I have the awareness now where I go like, wait, why am I craving that food? Maybe I should look that up and I'll eat something healthier, I was really craving like
with that. Yeah.
fats and meats and stuff. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm like, wait, if I'm craving like chocolate, or if I'm craving this, I'm like, what else can I eat to replace that? So it was like, oh, if you're craving this, then have some carrots. And I'm like, oh, I would love to have some carrots. Let's do that. Or you're craving fat. Okay, I'm going to have some avocado. Great. I'm going to go to the store and get some avocados and eat those up. Yeah, so
Love it.
it's kind of taking that information but then like keeping that discipline and keeping that positive, that positive path.
This is actually
But yeah,
doing
not
it
that I didn't
day.
slip a couple of times, right? Doing it. Yeah. I mean, my schedule has gotten a little wacky because of some work that I picked up. So keeping to some of the 21-day goals I had about like a good bedtime and things like that have been a little tricky, but I've still managed to do other discipline things. I'm still showering. I'm still doing my journaling. I'm still, so I'm holding to things that I can fit into my schedule, and then being, presently forgiving to myself and saying like, well, this isn't an everyday thing. This is just this just happened today. And then being like, okay, that was today. Let's just do better tomorrow,
It. This is awesome, Kayla. I love it. Love it.
Yeah.
So good. Seriously.
So yeah. But I mean, it's been a wild ride.
It is.
I had a new client experience last week, so that was a big win. And I think I shared that with you personally, but yeah,
that's empowering.
That was wild.
Right? That's like you can feel your power coming back. when we talk about, our that true power, taking our power back, it's not taking it back from other people. It's kind of taking it back from our egoic mind, taking it back from our, like we can tell that little thing to shh. Like lately, I've literally
Right.
just been like, shh, like, and I feel it. Like I feel the, like I have to. I just have to because it's just so easy to get dragged right off, right? So you're doing
Hmm.
beautifully. You're doing beautifully.
Hmm.
And but writing it down, like looking at it every day, because when we look at it, I look at my monthly lenses, my monthly sort of like life map, and I'm like, dang nabbit, I still have to do 8 out of 10 or 18 out of 20 of these things. Yeah, 2 I'm smashing, the get more sleep, because I'll nap to avoid
Hmm.
things. That's
Oh,
the,
like so
like,
pro nap right now.
right,
So
really
pro nap.
looking at it. Really looking at it.
Like,
If we're going to propel forward, this week is a beautiful week to do it. It's going to make things easy. We're going to we're going to have that energy. We're going to have that focus. We're going to have that. How about you, Miss Heather? I'd love to give you a moment to share before I'm going to do a recode on us today. I just feel like a recode on taking our power, just really embracing it and letting that egoic mind say what it needs to say to us this morning. But I'd love for you to share if you wanted to.
Um, I'm I'm basically in the same boat as the other woman where I don't have specific goals. And you know what? Like it's really lately been my ego's really been bugging me about it because before it was okay, I want to get this, I want to get that. And but that's really all a bunch of bullshit because living the life I love, which is the choice I've been doing and being in. And I guess because it's so simple and easy, um, it's uncomfortable because I I I just don't have a specific. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I've been questioning that for a couple of days, like, um, and so yeah, yeah.
I love it. So um, that is the exact reason, I guess, that having some things written down are so important for our lenses, for our life mapper, for that, because we may not feel like we know where we're going right now, but because I know you guys a little bit, I do know that we are going to a place where we just really want to live in ease and grace, and the thing about our true choices is they actually can change every day. We can pick a new true choice, like, no, I'm choosing steak, and so 5 people will bring you chicken, fish, and you just know, yeah, my steak's on its way. You just don't stop the train. You just don't. You can sort of have a purpose to get up in the morning. You can have and so choosing something like living in ease and grace isn't necessarily what's going to get you out of bed in the morning. But what happens is when you choose something that will kind of just give you a little bit of a direction, a sort of a GPS. We'll have something that we would just really like, right? Maybe we would just really like to, and we're going to have fun with this. We're going to have a lot of fun with this. Maybe we're going to throw like a million things out there, and we are just going to actually let the superconscious tell us. So the problem is sometimes we feel like we need to know exactly what it is that we want. But when we actually make a choice like creating a life that we love, it allows some of those things to finally drip in, that just, I just want to be able to go for a walk on the beach. I just want to be able to have, I just want to have really healthy relationships, right? I just want to have, what kind of relationships do you want? Do you want to have a relationship where it's equally reciprocated, where I choose to find a partner that adores me more than I adore them. Anything. Um I want to live in a castle. I want to, it can be absolutely anything. It doesn't have to be a choice like, I want to build a team and make $5 million. I want to be happy. I just want to, and as soon as you just choose to want to be happy, those things that make you happy kind of pop in. So I think that sounds like a little bit of fun. And then we're going to, create that tension, just kind of look at where we are now and really get into that feeling of what it is that we want. So do you guys feel like going on a little journey? Does that sound like a good plan? Go on a little super conscious journey this morning. Have a little meditation, have a little recode where we literally take that tension and allow it to show us what we want. What is it that we don't want? What are the things around us? I want you to maybe look at things a little bit right now. Just take a bit of a snapshot of life. Take a look and a good stock of what's going on right now. We have these goals. We see ourselves in a year. If we were to just fast forward, and you guys can close your eyes so that you can just really connect with your breath as you listen to this. And just, breathe in through your nose. Just kind of, you can even put a hand on your heart. You can allow your thoughts, all that activity in the brain to just kind of like you're pulling the plug on the bathtub, and it can all just kind of come down into the heart space. And you can just allow these last few weeks of kind of showing you the things that you don't want, just almost like a little movie going through the last few weeks, the last few months, even just kind of going back and just noticing the things that have been coming into your field. Some of those things that have been big lessons, like has there been big lessons these last few weeks? Just take a moment for the superconscious to just sort of a little recap on some of these lessons that you have felt that were kind of important, that you maybe even could have written down. Did you have an aha moment? Did you have you know what, this just feels really good. This is what I want. Think about a day that you just loved even. What was a day that you just actually felt like, this feels good. This is what I want. And just taking stock of the way things are right now, I want you to fast forward to 1 whole year from now, because we're going to come back to where we are. But if we were to be a whole year, like this is a whole year wasted, you guys, 52 weeks gone. We have 52 weeks. We know, life it's not forever, right? And we are meant to be here for so many reasons. We have, even thinking about all the courses you've taken, all the things you've done, all the things that have kind of lit you up over the years. If you were to think of all of those little light up moments as little moments of enlightenment, and they all went into one little package, where does that little enlightened package want to be 1 whole year from now? Not wasting any more time. Not like I kept getting the words to, if we just stop fucking around, what is it that we really would just like? Like, did we want to write a book? Has writing been coming up lately? Should we just, start just taking a moment and writing a page, like just really taking stock of where things are and really dialing in some of those things that make us happy. When we look back at those give us those indications of what we want. If you don't know what you want, go to a journal from 5 or 10 years ago. You'll see exactly what you wanted. You've always wanted it. Think back to 20 years ago. What did you always just want? I just want. We knew at one time we started to give it away. We started to lose parts of it with relationships, with motherhood, with animalhood, with all the traumas. We lost so much of it. Just imagine for a moment being that true creative force again, that one that you were when you were a kid, when you were just the, undeniable you, the unforgivable, unmistakable, just the, just the real you. Imagine having that power, and in a year, what you could create, what you could do in a whole year. What do you want to do in a whole year? Do you want to be doing exactly what you're doing? Let's look at where we are right now. What are we creating? What are those little actions that we're taking? Are we taking them? Have we chosen a health and vitality type of life? And are we making those choices? Are we following through with them every day? What if our goals were to just literally live each day to its fullest in our truest health and vitality? What are a few little steps that you could take to actually make that happen? That's taking your power back. That's owning the life you want to be in a year, actually doing it, writing it down. What are 3 little things you could do for your health? Or even one if you could just think about it. There's superconscious will just drop in ways right now for you to automatically know what's right for you. And you can almost laugh at how easy it comes in. It's just do, do, do. And even really choosing that life that you love, just really actually living a life that you love for you. I just want to travel. I just want to enroll my kids in all the sports. I just want to give them all the opportunities that they want. I just want to be uncharged and unloaded and I just want to be happy. I just want to take some time and do this or do that. What pops into you? Allow that superconscious field to show you things that make you happy. See, walking and swimming and being with friends, and just, are we doing something towards that? My body's releasing right now every day. Let's choose right now to make some choices, some little actions to being that true predominant creative force in our life, to actually be powerful, to not allow life to control us, to not allow lower vibrational energies to weigh us down like a person hanging on to a stick that could just be floating downstream any moment, and they've been hanging on and hanging on. There's all this weight. We're gonna go and undo that belt of stuff that's around our middle right now, just allowing that big old belt. I want you to keep hanging on to that branch with the one arm. Keep hanging on like you've been surviving this whole time. But I want you to reach down and undo that belt and just simply let it fall away. And I want you to notice that you're still hanging on to the branch, because we're afraid to let go. You never know where things are going to go, but we're going to choose right now to take control, to allow ourselves to surrender. And we're going to make the choice to just truly live that life we love, to truly be that true creative force. And we're going to tag and treat any resistance up in the field with that right now. We're going to tag and treat any emotions and beliefs around this. So You may notice that hanging onto this stick, it feels like one finger at a time you can almost let go. And I want you to just encourage yourself to start to surrender to that fact that you could actually let go. And it feels like the current is actually pulling you towards this land of plenty, this place that you've always kind of known that you were meant for. But these last few fingers are still hanging on. They're just these beliefs, these events, these old traumas. We're just going to allow any of those to be tagged and treated in the field right now, in the perfect way and in the perfect order. Do a massive change history on all of those, wherever is needed. And I want you to just connect with your breath again. There's some pretty heavy stuff in the bodies right now, especially in the core. And I want you to just connect with your body, and I want you to just expand your belly as you breathe in. Allow that breath to just work some of that out with you. And breathing out through the mouth. And just allowing the superconscious to treat whatever is safe, just to treat any of the resistances, any of those things holding us back, any of those old familial entanglements, any of that old DNA, any of those past lives, all of that past stuff, just tagging and treating it all. Allowing anything that needs to come up into the active experience. Just getting all those little parts of us on board, all of those little whispers in the back, all those little parts of that egoic agenda. Just tagging and treating all of those parts. And just simply asking the superconscious to sort of help align you into this true goal of just actually being this creative force, knowing that you've created exactly what you have so far. You have created this very moment. There's no accidents. Getting into true intuitive alignment with yourself. Asking yourself what you really want right now. What is it that I just really want? And just noticing the first thoughts, not overthinking it. The first thoughts, the best thoughts. And I want you to notice for a moment how abundant you are in these areas already. It's almost funny how much you have of that. And you have the ability to make the choice to consistently do it every day. It's there. Choosing where your focus is going to be every single morning. Choosing to ground yourself throughout the day. Choosing to shut that brain off. Bringing all of that up into the active experience and taking some actions to be where you'd want to be in a year. You don't have to know exactly where it is, but how do you want to feel? Do you want to feel those lower vibrations? Or do you want to actually feel having so much love and having so much energy that you can't help but spill it over to people? Do you want to have so much love and peace in your system that you're not judging yourself, that you're not allowing those little voices to come up and tell you, are you sure you want to have the maturity and the responsibility to yourself to be able to just that quiet mind, What is it that will shush that quiet mind for you? Is it a little meditation? Is it nurturing yourself with a yummy, delicious meal or drink? Is it climbing into a fluffy blanket you've always wanted to buy for your bed? Is it getting some new clothes, or is it, what is it for you? What would just feel really good? We're going to tag and treat all that. We're going to just align the energy centers. We're just going to balance things out. We're going to just tune our vibration up a little bit. We're going to allow those lower vibration frequency emotions that have just been sort of swirling around, anything that's on a low vibration, that sadness, that grief, that there's some shame, there's some depression, there's just, some stuff that needs honoring. Taking a nice deep breath again, we're going to allow the energy centers to just start to fill with our breath. And I want you to notice your breath going in your body, bringing it down to any areas that are uncomfortable or in tension right now, any feelings that you're having that are uncomfortable or in distress. I want you to send love to those areas with every breath. And I want you to send gratitude, actually feeling grateful that they're showing you what they're showing you. Sending that breath directly to that area. Almost like when you breathe in, it just sends this beautiful mist down to that area to just bathe it in love and gratitude. And you'll feel some other parts popping up right now that weren't even sore, that are just going to be like, hey, I need some of that. And I want you to just send it there with your breath. And I want you to notice that you can do this for yourself at any moment. We're just going to choose right now to honor yourself, to pay attention to what those little actions might be that popped up, to just show us exactly where we'd like to go and what we need to do to get there. I want you to just continue sending your breath right down from the pelvic floor, relaxing all those muscles, getting in touch with your body, allowing that breath to just fill your whole body, allowing that mist to maybe even move down to the legs and feet, maybe down to some areas that are just needing a little bit of love, a little bit of gratitude, and a little bit of acknowledgement. And just cleaning and clearing and transmuting and balancing all of the energy centers right down from the crown to the sacral, going through our core, just allowing that beautiful mist to fill. You may even feel the colors of red, orange, yellow, the sunset just filling your whole body, grounding you right down to the ground. And allowing that yellow to turn into green as your heart center just gets enveloped by this beautiful green light. Sometimes you feel little twitches in areas. It's just in your body, letting that energy move through, making space for all of this, all of these beautiful things that we've been just waiting to dial into our GPS. Sometimes when all those energy centers are full, it's hard to allow that in. Literally making space for abundance, for ideas, for joy, for love, for kindness. Maybe you just want abundance so that you can share it with people that don't have, Think of those things that really make you happy. What is it that lights you up? If you did have more money than you can spend, imagine what you could do with it. Think of what you have already. Think of the gifts that you have that you could simply be sharing. Are you getting them out there? Do people even know? I feel this big for everybody else. Everybody, it's just getting connected again. Allowing yourself to be seen. Allowing that connectedness to happen. And asking the superconscious field to just clear any other resistance and any other forms that we just haven't touched on today in all memories and timelines. 1, 2, and 3, past, present, and future. Cleaning up any resistance that just needs a little sweeping. Allowing all of that to just be released into the matrix of the universe and grounded in. Released in love. I want you guys to just take some nice deep breaths. And because it's Monday, I am going to love you and leave you because I have another session again right away. But I urge you to stay in this space, do some writing, take anything that comes up and just write it down. And I feel like if you have some journals, if you have some writings from years ago, take them out. They're probably so insightful. I love you, ladies. Mwah. And I love my group. So whoever's watching this in replay land, I love you. And I hope you guys have an awesome day. And shoot me a message and let me know how that was for you later if you can. Take care, everybody.